I'm just saying about that movie, The Karate Kid. Miyagi says something interesting. He says he's talking to can only be described as the subpsychotic, rageful dojo owner and or instructor, the big cheese instructor of the karate, which Miyagi implicitly disagrees with his tactics, as would anyone with half a soul, fibrous fiber of soulfulness in the moment, which we all can agree he had no soul. He was that actor was supposed to portray a piece of machinery made of metal, soulless, heartless, cruelty-drivenness to the point of non-mercifulness, mercilessness, or non-merciful mercilessness. But he says, let me get to what I want to talk about. He says, and I don't recall the piece of dialogue that it is. He says he's talking about Ralph Macchio's son. He says, one against one is one thing. One against all of your, quote, disciples, end quote, of evil and, I'm paraphrasing, of mercilessness, he says. He doesn't say that, but this is my words. This is my words for what he says. The point is this. He says, one against one is one thing. One against, in other words, all of your, quote, disciples, end quote, ganging up on Ralph Macchio's son. We all know what his name was. That is implicitly and explicitly unfairness corporative. It's my words, my wording. Implicitly, explicitly. Implicitly and explicitly. Explicitly and implicitly. Unfairness corporative. And whatever Ralph Macchio's son lacks in coolness, según la perspectiva de tus estudiantes, he makes up for in humbleness and sweetness. He makes up for in humbleness and sweetness. He makes up for in humbleness and sweetness, humilityness and genuineness. Is that a stretch? A little bit. All right, it's a little bit of a stretch. Humilityness, well, at times. Genuineness, well, at times he's genuine. Yes, he's humble. Well, he's humble when he's not deliberately provoking them. See what I mean? My job I'm trying to be like an instructor of a class, like with a humorous edge and twist. Ralph Macchio's son is not always in a state of humilityness and genuineness. He at times is provoking them like, neener, neener, neener. You're supposed to lay off, neener, neener. Well, who do we blame for that? John G. Zillionth numtard. John G. we have to blame, as in Senor Avildsen, or Avildsen, excuse me. I'm like the spelling bee champ, I should never say it wrong. Avildsen. There'll be 1,000 people saying it doesn't matter, it's pronounced Avildsen, whatever. Well, I think it's pronounced Avildsen. So John G. writes a script, has absolutely no idea what he's doing. These are homicidal, maniacal, insanely idiotic individuals. I mean, they're out for like blood, but more like homicidal death. And there's no indication that John G. was in any way consciously aware of the subtextualness of homoeroticalness. This is extremely important that I get all of this out in the next several minutes, so however long it takes. It may not take that long. I'm trying to say. John G. writes a script. Yeah, it's called a blank when it's for a movie. We're all tired of hearing about it. We hear it every flaming friggin' year at the Premios de la Academias de Motion Picture Artes y Ciencias. Yeah, absolutely no pretense is ever invoked nor evoked. There's no non-potentials evoked. There's no potentially non-potentially evoked. There's no pretense. There's no the Academy. And we don't have to be distinct from any other of the what feels like 20 or more award shows that lead up to it every year. It's like boom, 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 boom. It's like boom, 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 boom. It's like boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 and now you're at the Academy, the award show of all awards, the award show to end. We pray, we hope. The award show to end all award shows, okay? The Academy Awards of the Motion Picture Artes y Ciencias arrives, okay? And it's not enough that there's all the pretense that we really are the definitive. Which I can blow holes in that with a shotgun or a rifle or a cap gun or a BB gun. It goes like this. They always have to be distinctly distinct from every other award show. I know I'm getting a little off track. I'll get back to El Muchacho que conoce karate. Gracias al Señor Miyagi. I'll get back to that in a moment. I'll circle back to it as quickly as possible. There's nothing more unscientific than this. In other words, there's nothing more than entirely devoid, miscorporative of anything scientific about any of, quote, it, unquote. By the way, did the movie It win at least 16 award nominations and like 2 awards to like best film adaptation of a screen editing original? Non-original or something? Wait. Best sound effects that were distributed via 80s rock groups known as goth, post-punk, morbidness, weirdness, incarnate. What? I don't know. It's just like, what the... So let me circle back to the karate. Let me circle back to El Muchacho que conoce los movimientos de karate. I think that's the only way to put it. Karate. I don't know. Respeto. Yeah, respeto. Like in the Judiciary Committee meetings. I mean, come on. So let's go back to this. Forget that for a moment if you're possible. Okay. So the El Muchacho, and how many priests entered this, and how many future priests were entering the seminary after viewing the motion picture known as the Karate Camp? So the Karate Nino is not a Nino. He's not a muchacho. He's a 22-year-old adult male while filming. He's able to order drinks for a year legally. He probably did so sooner if he's like me. I was ordering drinks non-legally before the age of 18. Or they were being ordered on my behalf without my having to say a word, okay? Because I grew up in small towns where cigarette machines were like boop, 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 like do-do-do-do-do, boop, boop. You pull the lever, boom. You got 14-year-olds, 16-year-olds, 15-year-olds, da-da-da-da-da-da, fumar, cigarillo. All right. And what braintard, I know I just shouldn't say that, but what braintard, I shouldn't say that, but what braintard invented candied cigarillos? Candied cigarettes. Let's get the kids a jump on their adult emulations. What did I say? They're, quote, adult, end quote, quote, emulations, end quote. Let's get a jump start on that chainsaw. As opposed to having a non-documentary or a docu-style series or an actual documentary series saying, here's why adults are not acting as adults. Here's why you children aged 9 to 15 or younger should not be attempting to emulate, or even quote emulate, end quote, any of what they're doing unless it actually makes any sense at all, which is rare to rarest. But we, the producers of the television program, are going to feel a bit self-aware and inhibited in saying this while you children are viewing this in the non-privacy of your parents' television screens in their living rooms, in their homes that they pay for, not you. So we get back to this. Yeah, docu-style series and action documentary programs that enseñarle las lecciones de no emular a los adultos. What did I say? Los, en comillas, los adultos, fin de comillas. Los, en comillas, adultos, fin de comillas. Or is there a reverse effect? When you actually have padres that are going blowing smoke, literally, at dinner tables, when they're actually your own padres, okay? Is there a dissuasiveness that it results? Like when you have, I don't know, an alcoholic for a madre o padre, or a gambling addicto por madre o por padre. I think it does have that intrinsic dissuasiveness away from whatever their addiction is, nor isn't, or whatever. Well, it can have that reversed, helpful, useful dissuasiveness built in. Unless you didn't have padres that were puffing in cigarettes and chain smoking with or without a dinner table, and you didn't learn that it's... Can someone crack a window? For the love of God. Can we please crack a window in here? It is getting really wafty. I mean, really smoky in this vehicle, or in this room. You know, we all remember the days of bars where, like, can someone crack a window? I can't breathe. And now my jacket, I'm going to have to wash it again. My clothes reek already. I'm going to get home and I'm going to go, ugh. Well, we'll all know where I was on Monday. I don't have to do the laundry. You know, in the case you're like from a home where laundry doesn't get done that often. And you're like, I don't wear these clothes to school now. And I reek. And Monday morning, I'm going to have a good day. You know. So nobody's going to know that I smoke cigarettes, or the opposite. That my padres are puffing on cigarillos in my presencia. Oh, real responsible, Dad. I mean, Mom. I'll go on. Yeah, I will go on. I was going to say, but I will. I'll continue here. I don't want this to go on much longer. So let's circle back. So forget everything, side burner, all of that. Let's go back to the original topic. Miyagi says, 1 against 1, that's one thing. 1 against all your hoodlums, all your thugs, ganging up on Ralph Macchio's son, is the antithesis of fairness. It is entirely diabolically merciless! Alright, I put a little more oomph than Senor Miyagi. Pat Morita, the star of Asian cinema. Just kidding, American cinema. I'm doing this. Everything I do it for Jesus Christ. Well, I do it for myself, and I do it for Jesus Christ. Everything I do it for myself. I think that song should be titled "Everything I do for myself." With what? With the assistance of Jesus Christ. So I started this video by saying, Senor Miyagi makes an extremely valid point, because 1 against 1 is one thing. All your thugs against 1. Now I can transcend that and say, what about public schools? What about public school buildings where it's 1 against all against your 1? To moi, like this, like a constellation, like an Epcot Center constellation. 2 moi against each and every individual moi. Like a line segment. This moi against this moi. This moi against this moi. This moi against that other moi. A kill. Now you got a tripod. This one against this one. This one against this one. And everybody like this. Each moi pour itself against every other moi. And then you got to leave school early at 2 p.m. You got a doctor appointment. Now your physician is saying, no. No, son, you're 14 years old. You need to go on a diet. Or let's say you're in high school. You're 16 years old. You can already drive a moving death machine, a metal vehicle. But no, son, you need to go on a diet. And you're saying, I work out. I'm in sports. I'm a fucking linebacker. Excuse me. I'm a fucking linebacker. I said it correctly. I'm 16, I enter on a diet. Because Dr. Schmutz says I have to lose 6 belt sizes before winter, or I'm going to put on another belt size. Or I have to lose 3 belt sizes or whatever. Let's go with 6. 6 belt sizes before winter, I'm going to gain another belt size. And then you're going to eat your parents out of the house and home, right? No, you're not. None of your filthy business. None of, say to that quote physician, end quote, none of your filthy business. So now you got your school building full of idiots saying, it's your moi pour itself against every other moi. It's 2 moi against every other moi. Pour itself. But they're going like scatterings of disarrayness, of scatterings, of spatterings of bullets, ethereal bullets, like a Van Gogh painting come to morbid hellfire, existential hell, smoke and hell dust. So now it's 2 proprio moi against every other proprio moi for itself, but against everybody else. Now your doctor, your physician is saying, you need to go on a diet. You're 16 years old. You're headed down the wrong path. You're like, I'm a linebacker. What part of me represents average? You're looking at these standardized, thinnest paper, sheets of paper, madam. So you got a female physician. You're looking at these pieces of paper. I'm looking at, I've never been average, physically or otherwise, to be honest. And I'm not going to ever be average. That ship sailed, madam, the day I was born into an existential existence of nightmarish hellfire. So you can take your height and weight charts like this and go, throw it out the goddamn Ventana, okay? Throw it out the goddamn Bentanilla. And by the way, speaking of Bentanilla, tell the receptionist to get a life too. She's really a real bitch this morning. Or this afternoon, excuse me. Feels like morning, it's afternoon, I don't know. Tell the receptionist lady she's a bitch. Have a drink on me, and don't ever tell me what to do with my proprio cuerpito, my proprio cuerpo. Stay away from my cuerpo, madam. Have a good day. Goes back to school because he forgot to pick up his chemistry assignment homework. A class he missed to leave school by 1:45 to get to his appointment at 2 p.m. Which, by the way, he was reamed out by the receptionist. He wasn't a full 15 minutes early, even though he had to leave school and miss part of one class and a full other class. So he had to go back and go. He has to go back and go. He forgot his chemistry assignment, so he's got to go back and pick up that and go back and go back and go back home. And then and his parents are telling him he's going to get a part-time job. Have a good night. So think about the part-time job, son. It's a dog-eat-dog. It's a public school world. It's a public school world. They like a barbershop quartet. Like a barbershop or a barbershop quartet. They break into song, Mommy and Daddy. It's a public school. Get a part-time job. Cut that hair. Just kidding. I don't know. I've seen every aversiveness quote versions, end quote, of a version of stupidities, of insane stupidities, not in that order. I have every legs to stand on, every leg to stand on, every leg to stand on. Have a good night.